What? Number 18 raised from the dead?
Here, hold my computer.
You got to get this stuff. My God. No, Pastor. Did you know I preached in February for Patricia King at a conference called Faith to Raise the Dead? And at that conference in Arizona, we prophesied a coming revival where the dead being raised would be as normal as the deaf hearing, the blind seeing, the lame walk. It would be a normal occurrence in the church in America. And you're telling me we have an 18th story?
Here we go. And I'm going to have him on speakerphone. Can you hear me, Pastor?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. This is Pastor. Here, I'll hold this one right here. This is Pastor John Baylor. He and a group of ministers from Baltimore came down here for how long were you here?
I was there for 2 days.
For 2 weeks?
2 days.
Okay, for 2 days, is that what he said? Oh, okay. And this past...
How many days was he here in the revival service?
How many days were you here? Pastor, how many days?
2.
I'm here.
2 days.
Okay, on this past Friday night, he was preaching on the story of Jairus' daughter being raised from the dead. He suddenly stops in the middle of his sermon and he says, I have a word of knowledge that right now someone is in the hospital. They are dying, but they are going to be raised from the dead. So let's all cry out for the dead to be raised in Baltimore. Isn't that cool?
What will happen when the church just cries out, let the dead be raised?
One of the families from that church, they were not in the service because they had been called to the hospital. Their uncle was dying. He was on life support. The family had come together and had pulled the plug. The man was totally, all of his life support, vitals, everything was going down to almost zero. And at the exact time he calls out the word of knowledge, they timed it out. At the exact time, the man went totally normal, got out of bed, and walked around. He's out of the bed, walking around.
There's the 18th resurrection. Tell somebody 18 people have been raised from the dead.